let me give you an example, and you tell me if this is renewing my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, with all this COVID stuff, I know what my position is with it. And I think a lot of it is, I have a higher perspective of it. I am looking at how God sees this, what's happening. And I'm not thinking about, oh, well, if I go do this, and I'm not talking about being foolish,
Mm.
but when I start to hear people talk, and it can kind of start to make me feel fearful, I say, I'm going to take those thoughts captive and I'm going to push them away. And I stop thinking about that, and peace comes over me. So is that like renewing my mind in the moment because I'm speaking God's truth and his word back to myself?
Yeah, yeah,
So the
absolutely.
more the word is a part of what we have in us so
Yeah.
that we can speak it to us,
Yeah.
like preaching back at us,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
better, the more we come to living as Christ, knowing our identity in Christ. Is that true?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's like if we can refrain, I know that we're in this like mind renewal plan, day 6, day 7. This is what you do at 9 a.m. This is what you do 7 times a day, and we have all these structures, right? What if we can take mind renewal and the truths and make it our everyday life, like what you just described, Mary, this is where it becomes real, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't get me wrong. Some of us can step into a situation and then go, oops, like 3 hours later. Still don't let that throw you off, okay? Still go back and have a conversation with the Lord and take the truths and go, looking back on that, I don't think that was a good idea, that I engaged in that conversation. Yes, Mary. So Mary just said something that I really said. Let your soul be your first disciple, okay? Let your soul be your first disciple. It's very hard to disciple somebody else if your soul isn't discipled, okay? What that means is we're meant to be imitators after God. So you can train your soul just like what Mary did there, is training her soul and speaking to her soul, just like David did, just like King David did, and speak to your soul and say, we're not going to fear this. We're not going to fear this thing that everybody else is necessarily fearing. Don't get me wrong. There are real reasons. I understand there are justified reasons for why our soul, because that's the only place that experiences this kind of fear, right? When it comes to COVID, I get that. I've lost people. I know some of you have lost people.
Yeah.
That's real, right? That's real.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But if you stay there, okay, and you let the fear grip you,
mm-hmm.
and I refuse to let fear grip me, guys. I've been there. I'm not going down that road ever again. Yeah. I understand. And even if I did get COVID, I'm going to still stand there and believe that I'm going to overcome it. That's it. That I have no other choice. There gets a point when you realize there's no other choice. So that's I'm quite vigilant. I'm quite diligent when it comes to fear. I can't accept it in my life. Yeah, I've experienced the raw side of that I just can't. Yeah, and Kim said, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.